NCAA Division III Tournament match. For Franciscan University, we have head coach Kelly Herrmann. We have Dani and Samantha Kelly.
All right. So congratulations, first of all, for making it to the tournament.
Thank you.
Really exciting.
Thank you.
And also your first AMPC title as well.
Thank you.
You started in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty impressive. So first question I have is for Coach Herrmann. What was your game plan on the offensive end in this game?
Well, obviously, when you play a team like Juniata and a program like Juniata, it's a little overwhelming when you're talking about developing a game plan because you have to, first of all, go out and play well in every aspect of the game. You know, there's no weaknesses on the other side of the court. But the biggest thing for us, outside of the X's and O's and what we were trying to do, was just to relax and not play nervous. And unfortunately, we had a hard time accomplishing that in lots of moments on the court today. I was talking to Ellen Dempsey, you know, the tournament director, former coach at Hiram, and I said, how many times did your team make to the conference, or to the NCAA tournament? And she said 4. And I said, what was the result? And she said, well, the first time, it was a little embarrassing. She said, we were nervous. And, you know, unfortunately, that was the case today. The one thing that I thought we did really well is that offensively we're very aggressive. And obviously, against a good team, if you're giving them free balls, life's going to be a struggle. So I thought early in the match we didn't show nerves in that aspect of the game, but it was more in our serve receive and our communication and just thinking too much. So.
And then this is along kind of the same lines, but what was your difference in strategy against a great offensive team like Juniata?
Well, the one thing defensively that was a little disappointing and surprising to me is that we didn't block better. So we try to play a pretty tough non-conference schedule. So we are used to playing at a speed, you know, faster than what we would experience, you know, later in our season. And we are the best blocking team in our conference. And so I really thought we would be able to block a little bit better. And clearly against their outside hitters, without a significant blocking performance, you know, that made it rough on our defense. And Sam here is a very, very capable libero. First team all-conference, freshman, sophomore, junior year. But, you know, if you don't block against these ladies, we were kind of making her day a little difficult. So defensively, I think that was the main thing that we needed that we didn't have. And I think if we could have blocked better, we could have managed the game a little bit better from a defensive perspective.
I mean, obviously we have two of the strongest players on the team, offensively and defensively. Dani, you've been a great offensive leader for your team throughout the year. What were your expectations for the team and for yourself coming into this game?
Coming into this game, we kind of just wanted to do the best we could and you know, just show that we're a capable team for how young of a program we are. We knew there'd be big blocks. We were ready for it, but we really just wanted to run the quickest offense that we could and try to get around them. And you know, we had our moments where we had really great hits, really great plays. So I'm proud of us for what we did, what we accomplished.
And then, Dani, tell us what the seniors have meant to the team and continue to your first NCAA tournament. Yeah, you have 2 seniors on your team.
Oh yeah. Oh, our seniors, they're just wonderful leaders. They're beautiful people on and off the court. Sorry. And without them, we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are. They, you know, their freshman year, our program was nowhere near what it is today, and they've kind of been there every step of the way as we build it up. So their leadership and their experience really brought us here.
Samantha, you have 1 more year with the team. What are your expectations for next year? What do you want from next season, and where are you looking to go?
I want to be back. Let me tell you. You know, we really, Dani and I, when we came in our freshman year, we learned so much about our conference and about Coach Herrmann, and with the girls, the seniors that we have this year. We've been playing together this whole time, and I really feel like we've been preparing for Franciscan to just be noticed. And so we really try to be a witness to our school. And so next year, I really just want to be a witness again. And, you know, now we're going to be noticed in our conference a lot more, which is really exciting. So I am really excited to just go out there and play volleyball and show everyone that Franciscan is up and coming, you know. Our athletics are up and coming, and it's a part of our school that hasn't really been noticed for up until now. So, yeah, next year.
Yeah, Kelly, I mean, obviously there's a number of levels to this. I mean, both, you've been with the school for so long and everything, but what does it mean for you to come here, I mean, having the season that you've had and be able to represent Franciscan this way? I mean, both, you know, this individual season, doing that for your program and the school department.
Well, you know, I'm a huge fan of Franciscan University. I'm an alum. I opted to come to Franciscan rather than play intercollegiate sports myself back at a time when we didn't have intercollegiate sports. And when we started the program, we just really felt like it was God's plan for Franciscan. And I feel like all of our programs, not just volleyball, but all of our sports teams really represent Franciscan. Our student athletes are such wonderful ambassadors for Franciscan. So I think as each of our teams experiences any success, I think that it's a reflection on all of our teams and our entire athletic department, all of our coaches, our trainers, all the people that work so hard for us. So, you know, I feel like being here is, it's an accomplishment. Getting back is the next goal, but, you know, I feel like it's been a wonderful process to help Franciscan athletics, you know, build respectable programs, and, you know, it's just a good moment for our program to finally be here.
From a moving forward standpoint, what is being here? I mean, obviously, you now sort of see what you're up against, you've been through this process, what can you sort of talk about, you know, how that prepares you guys for, you know, the next couple of years?
Well, you know, it's like when I work with junior high kids in camps in the summer, and I tell them, come to some of our matches, go to other college matches. You got to see what you're striving for, what your goals are. And so for our team, you know, every time we step out on the floor against a tough team, you know, that's kind of what we're saying. Where do we want to be? And I remember the years not too long ago when it was Pitt Bradford that we were looking at in our conference saying, well, we want to be as good as them someday, or we want to be as good as Penn State Barron someday. And, you know, good programs, tremendous respect for their coaches and their athletic department staff. And so now, you know, it's great to say, okay, we've got to that point yet. So stepping out here today, seeing these teams, you know, some of the players, some of the coaches I know from camp experiences and things, and so it's good for our program. It's kind of what Ellen was talking about. You know, you got to go out there your first year and play and sort of get through it and prepare the best you can, and then learn from it and move on. Obviously, we've got to replace Amy and Jackie. We could never replace Amy and Jackie. You know, they're just such good women. They're just such hard workers, positive, sacrificing everything, completely selfless kind of players. And, you know, so that'll be the first task at hand. But then it's just getting ready for next season and hopefully getting back here and taking the next step. And whenever we return, I know that we'll be better prepared and more ready.
Dani and Sam, I mean, I know when Aaron and I walked in, like, the first thing we thought we were looking at each other, like, we're not going to do that anymore. You know? What was the goal that you guys had when you first got here and sort of try to set up a big gym? I mean, it's a different atmosphere than we're used to.
Really, the only thing I could think of is that volleyball is a fun sport, and it's fun to go against a better team. Even if, you know, we go out there and we're scared, those moments that do shine make the sport worth it. You know, because volleyball is all about the split seconds of brilliance and the split seconds of just stupidity. So it's really exciting to come in and get to work on our skills in that way and work on being able to stay positive and mentally, you know, our conference is going to be really fun now next year too because we've been here. So it was a really good learning experience.
I was just really excited to play and just be a witness of joy to every person we met, and just because that's what volleyball's about. It's about like being positive and happy and having fun. Because it's such an emotional game. When you get down, you're just not going to play well ever. So just coming in and being happy to be here and grateful that we've made it this far was really my main focus.
When it came to Juniata getting reception, you guys were able to save some of the supplements. How did that happen?
You know, a little bit of like what Dani and Sam talked about, your team psyche is so crucial in volleyball. And, you know, sometimes you play against teams that can't really look each other in the eye, you know. They don't look as much like a team. I remember years ago taking my team to see Penn State play a match at Pitt. And I said, look at Penn State. Every time they come together, I'm a big Penn State fan. Every time they come together, you can't tell whether they just won the last point or lost the last point. You know, like that's kind of the mentality you have to have. And I think our team does a good job about that. I think that they just, you know, think of the next point. What can we do? No one's angry. No one's upset. No one's saying, why didn't you get that set higher? Or why didn't you get to that block? Or no, it's nothing like that. It's just being a team. And so when you do that well, you can make good things happen. That was the key to our conference championship. Turning it around, we were down, I think, 13-8 in the third game, down 2-0. And what did it for us? It was just that team mentality of looking at each other and not looking at ourselves and, you know, kind of getting overwhelmed with self-concern. So in the match today, you know, we did have good moments, and it's because we could forget the bad moments and move on. And I think, you know, in the game of volleyball, I think selflessness is kind of the key, being a team.
How do you feel about your senior soccer performance being on the national level? And how very much they built the program?
You know, it's the national level, so that's a great thing. You know, I'm sure if you ask Amy and Jackie both, they'd say, I wish I played better. You know, like that's the reality of the situation. Unless you're the national champions, you're going to lose your last match. And so, you know, disappointing day for them in that regard, but a couple days from now, they'll be able to look past and they'll be able to say that was a good season and we have a lot to be proud of. So.
And some of the fresh faces we were seeing today, was that just more to get, you know, good, really good match experience like Anna and McCarty and Bella?
You know, we have a pretty deep team. Anna hasn't played very much, but man, she goes out there and makes things happen. She's from a state championship team from Wisconsin. And, you know, gosh, I thought she came in where other girls were a little nervous, and she was able to come in, kind of have that slightly oblivious perspective, which is helpful when everybody else is nervous. You know, Bella is just a tremendous athlete, and she kind of pulled us up in the conference championship match. So, you know, when you're losing control of a game and you're out of timeouts, or, you know, you don't want to call your second timeout early, you sub a little bit. And I thought the girls that stepped on the court, you know, did a pretty good job. And it's nice to say I played in that NCAA match. So, you know, I'm glad more people got an opportunity to play. I wish it would have been because we were winning and not struggling, but that's the way it goes.
One more question, kind of going off of that, we saw a slightly different starting lineup, where we saw Bella coming into the match early, saw Emily starting. Was that just kind of based off of the championship performances?
A little bit. Jackie is the, you know, one of the strongest leaders on the court, but she is not a strong enough blocker on the right side. So obviously going with Emily and Bella, you know, she has a great vertical. She just blocks better than Jackie. So it was kind of that. It was kind of Bella's performance in the semifinal match. But I will absolutely guarantee you that Jackie Zuko would say, if somebody else should be on the court to help us win, then someone else should be on the court. And you know, I do think my team is pretty unselfish, and I think Jackie exemplifies that. That's a wonderful thing, to know that your senior captain is completely okay with being on the bench if someone else should be in there. So.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.